This is about defending democracy. This is no longer Democrats versus Republicans. What do you want your kids to believe in? There must be give and take.
This is White Flag with Joe Walsh.
This makes Trump supporters uncomfortable. In all my conversations over the last 5, 6, 7 years with Trump supporters, nothing about Donald Trump, nothing I say about Donald Trump makes them more uncomfortable than when I say this. And I want to remind you, again, everybody, I apologize if I'm a broken record, but I come from Trump world. I voted for Trump in 2016. I was a Trump supporter. It used to be my world. Trump's voters are my voters. Trump supporters used to be my voters. I still engage with Trump supporters every single day. And I have for the past 5, 6, 7 years, ever since I turned against Donald Trump. And I have found that when I say this about Donald Trump, it bothers them more than anything else I say about Trump. It makes them more uncomfortable than anything else I say about Donald Trump. It actually, I observe, it makes them more reflective. It also kind of stops them in their tracks. When I say this, you believe, Trump supporter, you all believe in individual responsibility for everybody on this planet except for Donald Trump. Why is that? Why is that, Trump supporter? Why do you believe, Trump supporter, that we're all responsible for our own actions except Donald Trump isn't? Why, Trump supporter, my good friend, do you believe that we should all of us, be held accountable for what we do except not Donald Trump? He doesn't have to be held accountable. Trump supporters, you've told me for years that you believe in individual responsibility, but not when it comes to Donald Trump. Why is that? When I say that to them, they grow quiet. They look the other way. They hem and they haw. They don't want to engage. Because it's true, right? I come from the right. I believe in individual responsibility. The average Trump supporter is somebody who believes and has told me that, for example, that young black kid on the south side of Chicago who grabbed a gun and did what he did, that's on him. Individual responsibility, man, he did it. He's responsible for it. He's responsible for his actions. Over and over and over, that illegal alien from Guatemala who comes up across our border, he's responsible for what he did. Not how horrible things are down in Guatemala, not a broken economic system in Mexico. No, he decided to cross the border illegally. He's responsible for his own actions. You've always told me that black kid on the south side of Chicago who decided to be a gangbanger, it's his responsibility. He chose that. Don't blame the schools. Don't blame economic inequality. Don't blame not enough government spending. He's responsible, that young black kid on the south side of Chicago, for what he decided to do with a gun. I could go on and on and on. But these Trump supporters have always believed in individual responsibility. We are all responsible for what we do, except they don't apply the same principle to Donald Trump. He's been indicted 4 times, not his fault. 88 felony charges against him. Deep state, Justice Department coming after him, not his fault. He was impeached twice. Oh my God, Joe, that's all politics, the deep state, a bunch of bullshit. He made that phone call to Zelensky, demanding Zelensky dig up dirt on Biden. No bull, Joe. It wasn't. He didn't say that on the phone call. That wasn't him. Not his fault, Joe. The election was going to be rigged, Joe. Donald Trump, I say, he's the one who called the Georgia Secretary of State and said from the Oval Office, find me 11,480 votes. He did that. Trump should be held responsible for that. No, Joe, not his fault. He's not responsible for that because the election down in Georgia was rigged and a bunch of dead people voted, and it was the Georgia Secretary of State's fault for not pursuing all of this and blah, 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 blah. No, Joe, Trump hired bad people. No, Joe, Trump was lied to. No, Joe, everybody's been out to get Trump. That's why he did what he did. And you know, the truth is, if Trump did in fact shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue in New York City, Trump supporters wouldn't hold him accountable for that. They would say he's not responsible for that. That guy he shot in New York City, it was his fault. Alvin Bragg, the prosecutor in New York City, set Trump up. He was fooled. Trump supporters hate it when I bring this topic up. Why don't you hold Donald Trump to the same standard that you hold everybody else in the world? We're all responsible for our own actions. Why isn't Donald Trump? Why, I ask Trump supporters, do you hold Trump to a lower standard? Why? You told me that young black kid, Southside Chicago, growing up in poverty, and he became a gangbanger, and he shot some people. You tell me he's not a victim. He should be thrown in jail. Individual responsibility. I don't care about circumstances. He's responsible for what he did. And yet you tell me Trump's not responsible for anything he did. Trump to you is always a victim. He's a victim of bad people. Who hired those bad people, I'll ask. No, it's not Trump's fault, Joe. People fooled him. Trump's always a victim. You get my point. When I say this to Trump supporters, they don't like it. It makes them uncomfortable. I strike a nerve because they do believe in individual responsibility and they know they can't apply it to Trump. For them, Trump's got to be the victim of other people, never his fault. I've found this makes Trump supporters more uncomfortable than anything else I say. I say it respectfully, but I say it pointedly. Shame on you, I'll say. You believe in individual responsibility when it comes to everybody but Donald Trump. Shame on you. I'm Joe Walsh. Make it a good week. Joe Walsh, whiteflag@gmail.com. All one word. Joe Walsh, whiteflag@gmail.com. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow White Flag with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been White Flag with Joe Walsh.